What's good, y'all? No. So today's probably going to be a little bit of a shorter video today for you guys because I am so out of energy. Today's day 4 of my fast, and as you guys know, whenever I fast, for some reason I have absolutely no. Well, I know the reason. I don't know why I say it. For some reason, my brain just doesn't work properly. I have brain fog. I can't think as clearly as I should. I just have no energy. So today's going to be a little bit of a shorter video. But anyway, regardless, I want to talk about how going outside is a humiliation ritual essentially for most sub 5 guys. If you're like an average guy, man, there's really no benefits to going outside. Now, this is something that everybody always says to us, right? To us inkwells in general, to us like basement dwellers, to us chuds. They always say the same thing when it comes to this. It's always, go outside, bro, touch grass, bro. But they don't realize that there's absolutely nothing waiting for us outside. Nobody wants to talk to you when you're sub 5. Nobody wants to talk to you when you're something like autistic. Nobody wants to talk to you when you're, in their eyes, subpar in any kind of category. They just don't. And there's a few reasons for it, and it's sensible, right? Most people already have pre-established friend groups. Most people. They don't really want any more. And the ones that don't, I'm going to be honest, usually have something that's a little bit wrong with them. But most people, they're not going to care to be friends with you. They're not going to go out of their way to be friends with you. And you going out of your way to be friends with them is always going to get met with the same thing, which is rejection, right? It's just constant rejection. It doesn't matter if you're even looking for friends. It doesn't matter if you're even trying to talk to somebody, man. I get rejected, and I'm not talking about asking anybody out. I get rejected just talking to a cashier, just trying to start a conversation. The person rejects the conversation. What I mean by this is, you guys know this, right? Let's say you try talking about something with somebody. You go to a place that you usually go to a lot and you see the same guy there and you say just something simple like, oh man, I realized the prices, got raised or something, man. Oh dude, this, it's killing me. I got no money. They're like, yeah, man, it's crazy. Like, these conversation stoppers, like when people say, damn, or that's crazy, or uh-huh. Like, you can tell when somebody doesn't want to have a conversation with you. And for most of us sub 5s, that's 99% of the time. This is something that we realize at some point in our lives, most of us. It's also why we're such so on the internet so much, is because it's the only place where we can kind of talk to people. And most of the people, this is something I noticed in my Discord, man. Most of my Discord, I'm assuming, not all of it, but most, is kind of filled with sub 5s. From what they tell me, again, I don't know what they look like, so I don't know. I can't make that decision for me. But what they'll say is they are sub 5s. And one of the things that I noticed, one of the things that just is a natural byproduct of constantly being rejected by society at large, by the Voldemorts and the guys, both of them, they realized at a certain point that them going out and talking to people and having friends is never going to lead to a positive outcome for them. For other people, absolutely it will. They'll have someone to make fun of. They'll have a punching bag. They'll have someone to, look better than. They'll have someone who's going to be there, who's going to be, a little bit quieter, a little bit meek, someone who can give them attention. There's a bunch of benefits for other guys specifically having sub 5s as friends. There's even benefits for Voldemorts having sub 5s guys as friends. They can use them as an oofy doofy. They can use them for rides, emotional support, an emotional dildo. Money, gifts, trips, food, one of the million things that they want, right? They can use any of these sub 5 guys for any of it. But it's nothing. There's no return on investment for the sub 5s when it comes to having actual friendships. At least this is something that I've noticed. The only way you're really going to get much return on investment is with guys who really understand your struggle. That's why, again, so many guys are in the Discord are like-minded, because we're the only ones who really get each other when it comes to this stuff. We've tried going out. We've tried speaking to people. We've tried making friends, etc. It never ends well for most of us. And so at a certain point, we took the hint and we said, okay, nobody wants us as a boyfriend. Nobody wants us as a friend in general. The only thing they want us for is what we have to offer them. In some cases for the men, it's to boost their ego, to be better than somebody. And in cases with the Voldemorts, it's just to use someone for whatever they need, like things I mentioned earlier. We realize this after a certain point, and then we decide, a lot of us sub 5s, we decide one of two things: either to get a job where we don't really have to speak to people, which is sort of what my job is, right? It's very minimal speaking. I know I go out a lot, right? Because my job, in case you guys don't know, I just do Uber, right? I do Uber, I do Grubhub, I do DoorDash, and it's enough to pay the bills. But for the most part, I don't really have to speak to anybody. At most, it's like, hey, how's it going, boss? That's it. And then it's me telling them the name if it's one of these places, if they don't have like a pickup area, right? It's very, very minimal. And I get to stay in my car for the most part. I get to listen to podcasts or listen to music or talk to you guys on the Discord sometimes. And so it's very, very to myself, right? I can just sort of stay by myself in my own little world, which is where I'm comfortable at this point, right? Because I can trust myself and I can trust the guys in the Discord, for example. But I can't trust anybody else because I know what my treatment has been every time I've tried. Every time I've tried, and I haven't been an asshole, right? I've just tried to talk to people. I've tried to make friends with people. I've tried to be friendly with them, and they want nothing to do with me, just straight up. And again, it's one of these things where they don't have to tell you, because most people are going to they're going to put on a facade when it comes to this stuff, right? They're not going to tell you explicitly, ill, you're gross, or ill, you're ugly, or ill, I don't want to speak to you. They're just going to make it clear subtly, right? Again, like I said earlier, where they'll just kill the conversation, or, they'll give you one-word answers, or they'll be like, yeah, man, I get it, yeah. It's these kinds of things, and after a certain while, you get it. Again, you don't really have to keep going back and back. You don't have to keep vying for their attention or for their friendship or for their whatever it might be, validation. You just sort of get it. It's like, all right, this guy doesn't really want to be around me or talk to me or whatever it might be. So you get it, man. And even some cases, man, where you have like friend groups, a lot of the times, man, if your friend group gets a Voldemort, bro, it's over for you. It's completely over. The amount of times I've seen an Oofy Doofy, one of my old buddies, oh, dude, this happened to so many of them. This happened to most of them. So many of my old buddies, they got girlfriend. Man, I remember, man, back in the day, we'd be playing Call of Duty. Oh, my God. Everything. There were no holds barred, man. We were dropping bombs. We were dropping, F-bombs. We were dropping every kind of slur you could think of. We hated so many people, man. We were unfiltered. We were unleashed. And these dudes got a Voldemort, man, and instantly, at the drop of a hat, they change immediately. All of their opinions change. All of their thoughts and ideas change. Not because they changed them, mind you. Not because they changed them. Because the Voldemorts who they wanted to keep, who they were willing to do anything to keep. Get rid of their ideals, get rid of their honor, their principles, their ideology, what their opinions are, their beliefs. They were willing to get rid of all of that just to the chance of getting some canal. All of that, man, all of that. And so it's not only that you go outside, right, or whatever, you go to the clubs or you go here, you go to this hobby or whatever, the bar, whatever it might be. It's not that you just go outside and it's also people just sort of subtly rejecting you from whatever it is, their friend group or whatever it might be. It's also your own friend group rejecting you once they get Voldemorts, man. Like, you just see it, right? And at a certain point as a sub 5, you realize it's like, I don't have to go through any rejection or humiliation or having the heartbreak of my boys who used to be my boys since we were like 13 or 14 or whatever, just leaving me for some Voldemort that they just met. You don't have to go through that heartbreak and that pain, and it's just useless pain, right? A lot of us have gone through enough pain. We don't want to get hurt anymore, and there's nothing wrong with that because we're not everybody's punching bag. We have no obligation to suffer so other people can be I don't even know what. Like what obligation do we have to constantly hurt ourselves over and over again when we already know the outcome of a situation? What's the point in getting back into that situation? If you already know that the left path is full of snakes, why would you keep going down the left path? Go down your own path. Go down the only road that you have left. No roads left. Title card. That's what you do, man. And that's what most of us do. We get it after a certain point. We don't want to go outside and deal with it. We don't want to be anybody's punching bag. We don't want to be there so everybody can look better in comparison to us. Go be with the normies. Go look better than them. But you won't. You'll look the same because most of them are anyway. But after a certain point, man, you just get sick of it. You're just tired. You're tired, and when you're alone, man, it's so much better. You're at peace. You're content. You don't have to deal with anybody. You don't have to make any compromises. You don't have to do this or listen to anybody or be anybody's lapdog or be anybody's punching bag. You can just be you without anybody's judgment or expectations or any of this fucking bullshit that you have to deal with when it comes to dealing with the regular people. You don't have to. And the worst part is these people see themselves as fucking saints, man. Every time I hear a normie speak, it's always about some bullshit morality. It's about how good of a person they are, or this person's not a good person. It's always some fucking bullshit that they tell themselves to make themselves feel better about the things that they do. Dude, it's just, I can't stand it for the life of me. There's no positives in going out as a guy who's sub 5. Doesn't matter if it's friendships with the guys or Voldemorts. Doesn't matter if it's relationships with the Voldemorts. It doesn't matter what it is, because we already know the outcome, because we've been through this before, right? This is why I can't stand. This is why, here's the thing. This is why I always say that normies are evil. This is why I made that video. Normies are the true villains of society, because they're such sadistic little pricks. It's like they like to see you suffer. Because otherwise, why would they be? They either don't understand, they either have such an easy life that they can't understand anybody else's point of view or how they might have lived, or they're just sadists who want to see us suffer. There's no in between when it comes to it. There's absolutely none. Telling guys who are sub 5s, who are on the internet maybe too much, to go outside is just so sadistic and they don't even realize it. We've tried. There's a reason we're on the fucking internet. Because we can find guys who are like-minded. Again, we can find guys who have been through the same struggles as us. And we don't have to deal with the bullshit of the normies. We don't have to deal with whatever it is that they're going to tell us. The same old shit, right? Oh, you just got to work harder, bro. You just got to keep shooting your shots, bro. Not every Voldemort's going to like you, bro. Or this, that, and the third. Whatever platitude they want to spew. Whatever holier than thou. Whatever self-righteous bullshit they want to try and tell you. As to why it's your fault that you're ugly, or why it's your fault that people treated you like shit your entire life because you looked a certain way. Not because you were an actually bad person. Not because you were an asshole. Not because you treated people bad. Not because you were this, that, or the third. Because you were like some kind of murderer or a graper. You know, any of these things. You're not a groomer. You're not a fucking creep. You're not a weirdo. You're not any of these things. You're just ugly. But you were treated like all of those things that I just mentioned. You were treated like you're a graper or you're a groomer just because you're ugly. So many times, right? Why do you think normies have this idea that all groomers or weirdos in that kind of sense are all like fat Discord mods? Why do you think that is? Why, and not even fat, just ugly people in general. This is the horn effect, man. This is it. Ugly people are just seen as naturally worse people. We're seen as diseased, we're seen as pestilence, we're seen as like low ROI, like low return on investment, like just dregs of humanity in society. We are just troglodytes. We are just worthless in their eyes. They don't even have to know us, man. And most of them don't care to get to know us, right? And here's the thing. I don't blame them, right? They can be friends with whoever they want to. They can, like, everybody has the right to associate with who they want to associate with. Do you get it? Right? That's obvious. That's completely obvious. Nobody has to be friends with us. But again, it's because we know that nobody wants to be friends with us that we don't try, right? It's why we stay online. Because online, we could be anonymous. Online, we could say what we want to say about things without having the usual insults thrown at us. Right? You have guys like Clavicular. This is a perfect example. Clav is a good-looking guy. Pretty good-looking. Whether he's a high-tier normie or he's a low-tier Chad Light, you guys can argue about that. It doesn't matter. It's just semantics. It doesn't matter. But the guy is good-looking. You can't deny that. Good-looking enough where he has countless Voldemorts running up to him, cheating on their boyfriends, leaving guys just to be with him, right? And this dude says a lot of the stuff that a lot of the Inkwells say. Now, obviously, he's a LARPer, but that's not the point here. The point is that when you are good-looking, when you are this kind of guy, you can be an asshole, and you'll still be seen as a good person. You could be worse than a lot of these Inkwells. You could be worse as a person, morally speaking, whatever that is, as a sub-5. But if you're good-looking, you're automatically better than them. Automatically, in every regard. Not just looks, but your personality's better even if you're an asshole, if you're good-looking. Your terrible thoughts or your terrible opinions that are against Voldemort's or that might be misogynistic or whatever, you're instantly their good opinions or their opinions that don't matter just because you're good looking. You can look over it, right? But if you're a guy who's sub-5, you have to go above and beyond in everything. If you're ugly, you need to have money and you need to be in shape and you need to be a good talker. You need to have charisma and confidence and you need to be smart and you need to be this, that, and the third. You need to be responsible, but you need to be fun at the same time. You need to, like, there's so many. You need to have 20 different things. And even a lot of cases, even if you're ugly, but you have these 20 different things, you have money, you have status, you have charisma, whatever, confidence, you have height even. Well, to an extent. Height pill is pretty brutal, Bob. That's not the point. You get the point. You have to have so many other things that go for you. You have to have so many, Jesus Christ. You have to have so many other things just to get something that's the bottom of the barrel. And even at the end of the day, most people still won't want to really hang out with you, even if you have these things. Now, guys are a little bit different. If you're funny, but you're ugly as a guy, nobody really cares. They're going to make fun of you for sure if you're ugly. There's like 100% they will. That's just how guys are. But when it comes to the Voldemorts, they still won't look your way 90% of the time. They would rather the broke, stupid Chad than they would the smart, confident, funny sub-5. 10 times out of 10. 1,000 times out of 1,000. Again, you see it with Clav. Clav doesn't speak very quickly. He's not too quick on his feet. He's not too quick on his thoughts. He's not very funny. He's not very charismatic, honestly. He's pretty laid back when it comes to how he speaks and all these things. He doesn't really put forth a lot of charisma. He does have confidence, but of course you'd have confidence if you look good. If you know you look better than everybody, obviously you're going to have confidence. He's extremely vain. He's very egotistical. He's all the things that Voldemort say that they hate in a guy, and yet he gets all the success, man. This is it. This is who the sub-5s have to fucking compete with when we go out. The guy who's good looking and he's rich and he's 21, like, and he has a bunch of fame and clout and all the... Like, this is who we're fucking competing against. We know we already lost the competition. We know that there's nothing out there for us in the real world for the most part. It's why we don't want to be a part of it. It's why so many guys are neat, too. We don't want to be a part of a society that doesn't want us to begin with. Why the fuck would so many guys break their backs, study, work hard, do whatever it is, do all the tough shit that they have to do? Now, me personally, I'm not neat, but for me, it's a different situation. But I completely understand the guys who are neat, and I used to be neat. I completely get it, because there's so much work that you have to do. And a lot of the times, the work just isn't worth it for most sub-5s, especially when it comes down to going out and making friends or talking to people or blah, 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 blah. Whatever these normie fucking platitudes are that they tell us, this self-righteous bullshit, this stupid advice, whatever it is that they tell us, man, none of it ever works for us. We have tried. We've tried plenty of times. It never works out. And after a certain point, right, it's like that old saying, what is the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. We've done it plenty of times. We're not insane. We're not going to keep failing and getting rejected and getting mocked or disrespected or made fun of or whatever, going through constant suffering with no reward at the end of the tunnel, with no light at the end of the tunnel, with nothing to show for our hard work, with no fruits of our labor, man. We're not going to do that. There's no point. Now, here's the thing. I always tell you guys, and I believe this 100%. You got to reach your genetic potential because there's nothing else to do in life. It's either that or rope, and I don't want you guys to rope. or cope, I guess. You just cope your life away, but I wouldn't suggest that because it's not going to end very well. It's not going to lead you to a life that you can be somewhat happy with living, but I always tell guys to reach their genetic potential because it's all we can really do, and that's the only chance that we have of living a somewhat decent life at the slightest. Like, when it comes to looks maxing, man, when it comes to looking good in general, it's not just about getting a Voldemort. It's not just about getting a girlfriend. It's a lot of the cases, it's just being treated well by people, right? If you dress well, and if you could be the same person, man, but if you dress well and you have a haircut and you're in shape and you look good in general, like you have a good face, if you have all these things, people are just going to treat you better for no reason. Again, you could be the exact same person. Like, I've done this before. I've told you guys this before. I used to be like 280 pounds in high school, right? And I lost the weight, got down to 180 pounds. And people did treat me differently. Now, not everybody. Some people treated me differently in a negative way. Like, they sort of looked at me. It's like, oh, he's trying to be somebody who he's not, right, by me losing the weight, which is strange. But some people, they did look at me differently. Like, they were okay with having conversations with me. They were okay being seen with me, man. This is another thing. People don't want to be seen with you when you're sub 5. That's a whole different thing. It's a whole different ballgame. This is especially true when it comes to the Voldemorts. This is why I said earlier, emotional dildo. They want to take you out of the closet when they need you, use you for their pleasure, for their gratification, for their emotional stability or whatever. They're going to use you, and then they're going to put you back in the closet, but they don't want anybody to know that you're there. They don't want anybody to know that you exist. They'll keep you hidden in the closet. They'll keep you there. Okay, some stupid Reddit post just popped up in my face. Dude, see, it's just everything is rage bait for sub 5s, man. Don't show me this shit. I got to delete the app. Anyway. But like I said, they'll keep you there for what they need you for. They'll use you for their pleasure, for their satisfaction, for their emotional gratification, and they'll put you back in the fucking closet. They don't want to be seen with you, man. Especially the Voldemorts. Some guys don't want to be seen with you. Plenty of I bet you Clav doesn't want to be seen with any sub 5s. Any. He's a whole different thing, but you get the point. A lot of these they just don't want to, right? And most sub 5s, we get it when we go out. Like, people will just, again, you could be a good person, man. For the longest time, I was ugly, but I was like a normie, right? I was LARPing as a normie because that's what you have to do. They still never, ever respected me, right? It didn't matter. It didn't matter. You could be the good guy saying, well, why would you judge somebody or let people do what they want? Whatever one of these stupid fucking platitudes that they tell you is a good opinion to have or politically correct or whatever the fuck it is. You could have all of these opinions. People will still look at you weird, man. Still. They're the fakest, most fraudulent. Oh my god. They're just the worst, man. They're always wearing a mask. They're always wearing a facade. They're always bullshitting to everybody about everything. We know what our life is going to be like if we go out. We know what it's going to be like. It's going to be to no avail. It's going to be nothing but rejection, humiliation, being used in one way or another, either as a punching bag or as somebody to compare themselves to other Voldemorts so they look better than us when it comes to the guys, or being used for one of the million things that I said earlier that the Voldemorts look for the guys for money, for emotional support, for rides, for food, whatever it might be. This is it. This is the life. So we could either go through that constantly, go through that humiliation ritual, which I have to do every day pretty much, right? You can tell when I go to these countless places where I'm picking up food, you can tell none of them want anything to do with you, right? They don't even want to have to speak to you or serve you food. A lot of them don't want to look you in the eyes. A lot of them don't even give you the time of day. I know this one thing, man. I'll tell you guys this personal story actually. There's this one restaurant that I go to a lot of the times because it's in the area that I drive in, right? And it's very, very popular, so there's a lot of orders there. So I go there quite a few times, and there's this one Voldemort that I see there specifically quite a bit. And there's always this underlying sense of, like, condescension every time she speaks to me. Every time. A lot of the time she'll be like, 1 second. She'll be like, you can tell, right? Like, she'll be giving other people, like, first service, right? And then when it comes time to, like, for me to pick up the food, they'll be on the phone. They'll be answering this first. They'll be serving people first. Now, again, when it's other people who are in line, for some reason they get first service. But when I'm just there to pick up some food, which should take 5 seconds. You just go there. You go to the rack. You verify the name and you give it to me. That takes less time than sitting someone at the table. That takes less time than answering the phone. Very, very quick and snappy. You can just go grab it, give it to me, and I'll be out of the way. But no, they always put you to the side. It's this subtle shit that you notice, man. This is what I'm talking about. You know when they're sort of giving you a subtle hint. It's like, I don't respect you. I don't respect your existence. As a matter of fact, I don't even want to acknowledge it. But I have to, otherwise I'd lose my job. This is what they're saying. This is it. And I know a lot of you guys might call me schizo for thinking that, but I promise you, there's been so many other instances from this same Voldemort, because again, she works there and I have to go pick up the food there. So many other instances where every single time she's always dragging her feet, She's always like not happy to speak to me. You could just tell, man. You could tell. And again, there's no like she has to associate with me, right? But we're both doing a job here. Her job is to get the fucking food. My job is to deliver it. That's what it is. We have to, it's this weird sort of thing where we're like intermediate coworkers or whatever you want to call it, right? We're just working together, right? So I just need you to tolerate that for like 5 fucking seconds so both of us can get our jobs done. So the business that you work for can make money, which they need to make so they can pay you. And so I can get paid and the customer can get their fucking food on time when it's not cold. Leaving it sitting there on the fucking desk because you don't want to talk to me. Just go get the fucking food. I don't want to talk to you either, bitch. Oh, but the gaslighting is insane from the normies. This is the thing with them. They are S-tier gaslighters, brother. They will look at you in the eye. They will piss on your leg and tell you that it's raining, brother. That they are S-tier gaslighters. I can't stand them for the life of me. But anyway, man, I mean, I feel like I pretty much covered it. I mean, there are a few other stories. Actually, you know what? Well, here's the thing. I won't tell you guys any stories, but I will end it on this, man. Every single day that I have to go out, this is, again, why I respect a lot of you guys that are neat. Now, I don't suggest being neat because you got to make money because you got to live a good life. And the only way to live a good life is if you have money, especially, dude, as things get worse and worse, which they will, especially in the United States and probably most of the Western world, if that's where you guys live, it's only going to get worse and worse. If you don't have money, a lot of money, save it up or you're making it in the future, dude, you are fucking screwed on every level. The prices of rent are going to keep going up. Housing is going to keep going up. It's going to be it's already impossible to buy a house. It's going to be even more impossible in the future. The jobs are slowly going to go away with AI getting better and better. It's going to take most of the desk jobs, most of the office jobs, most of the jobs where it takes a brain to be able to do it. It's going to take all of those. All the high-paying jobs are going to go. The only jobs that are going to be left that are high-paying are going to be like AI training, right? Or AI being the fixer, or being like someone who sets up the programming or whatever. That's pretty much the only jobs that are going to be left. Some manual labor jobs too, like being an electrician, or that's definitely going to be a little bit better in the future because with more AI, with more servers and stuff like that, you're going to need people who are electricians who are working on these things in case anything bad happens. So obviously the manual labor jobs are going to be good, but anyway, man, you go around, especially me, again, doing Uber, going all these places, you see all of these people having a good time and you just feel humiliated because you're sitting there every single day busting your ass and these people are just living lavish, man. It's nothing but a humiliation ritual. It's nothing but humiliation. It's nothing but depression. It's nothing but rejection. It's nothing but negatives for sub 5's. That's it. That's all it is when it comes to going outside. Going outside for sub 5's is nothing but a humiliation ritual at its fundamental fucking core. This is why so many of us, again, are online. But at this point, I'm just rambling and repeating myself. So you guys get it, man. You guys get it. I just wanted to rant and ramble about that for a little bit. But yeah, man, for most of us, it was over before it began. And the best thing that we could do is achieve our genetic potential, keep moving forward. And in my opinion, honestly, and this is how I see it nowadays, is use these people to how we need to and as we see fit to get what we want out of them. But for the most part, when it comes to friendships, when it comes to relationships, me personally, I'm not even going to touch them. I haven't been friends with anybody since I was like 17, maybe 18. Haven't had any relationships at all in my 25 years of life, and at this point, I couldn't care less. I don't plan on getting into any because it's just too late. It's too late. I'm too jaded. I'm too bitter. I like being alone. I don't want to have to deal with anybody and their bullshit. I already have to deal with my own bullshit, so I don't want to add anybody else's issues into my mix. All right, y'all. I mean, that was it. I'm out.